Hey guys, this is my review for Stranger Things Season 2. If you're one of the few people that haven't seen it this season, please wait to see it and then come back because I'm talking about a bit of spoilers. So I might ruin the series for you, the episodes. So watch that again then. If not, let's discuss a little bit about this season. The story, as always, has been divided in little groups. In this season, we have Nancy and Jonathan again. Who are getting justice for Barb, and they actually do get justice for Barb, not in the conventional way, but in another way. But it works even, and people that love Barb from season one will be very pleased that she finally gets justice, and her parents can rest after all this ordeal. Then it's Joyce and her son that are trying to deal, and Bob, which is the new boyfriend, are trying to deal with what's happening with the kid and trying to see what he has inside of him, which is the entity, the master entity that controls basically the Upside Down, or that's what we're told. He controls the Demogorgons and all the other creatures, and that's really strange because we were promised in the trailer this big creature that scares everything, and we'd see it kind of like a couple of times throughout the episodes, but it doesn't really appear. Never. We don't really see the creature. We see like the form it takes and the fact that it can possess the body, but that's all. That's everything that happens. We see it possess my Will. I think it's Will. We have this gorgeous exorcist scene at the end where they expel the monster from him, but we don't really see the monster. It's like smoke or something. It's like this is was lost or something. The series lost the monster made of smoke and everything. So that was kind of underwhelming, I think, because the real evil here is like lurking, and we don't really never see it, and they don't even really have a victory over it because they close the gate to the Upside Down, but we know the creature is on the other side waiting for an opening, looking for a way to go to the other side and kill everyone basically. So that's season 3. I mean, we don't. I think season 2 was structured as a transition point between 1 and 3. So that's kind of not really great because when you do that, you kind of let down some of the things. I mean, thankfully, the only thing that they laid down was the fact that there was an enemy, the fact that there was an evil entity somewhere. I think that was kind of not really that strong this season. I mean, that season, I think at least the Demogorgon was a thing, and we could see it and we saw its form. But in this season, it's kind of all around. Meanwhile, as for the children, they have a new friend, a female friend. So of course, you expect Eleven and her to have kind of tension going on, but thankfully they only have that tense moment and in the last chapter, and it's really short, and again that's played for season 3. I think it's going to be the one on which they clash. In this one they don't even know each other and it's just for a second. It's not really that interesting, to be honest. I mean, because they set it up like something interesting but not really, and there's a lot of love, I think, in this season. And I think that's interesting because these kids, of course, are going to turn into teenagers sooner or later. So I think sooner for some of them and later for others. For example, Will and Mike, more Will than Mike, but Will still seems like a kid. I mean, and Mike a little bit. But the other two, their friends, they really, Dustin and the other one that I don't know the name, they really look much older. They really look like teenagers already. So I mean, they're ready for it. The other ones kind of not so much. So that's why I think the element of romance is always there because they are like, okay, with teenagers always romance, and of course Eleven was always in love with Mike, although that's really easy to understand because she was, imprisoned, so she has to love someone, and that and Mike was basically the first person that was kind to her, so that's kind of obvious, and I think it's going to end up really wrong. I don't. It would be kind of disappointing if they ended up together having children or something. That would be just ridiculous, to be honest. I would hate that to be the season finale, series finale. I mean, as for Eleven, she looked for her mother, and we knew that she had been experimented on also, and that her aunt was a spy for everyone basically, or the police or someone at the FBI maybe. And there's an episode, I think it's episode 7, which was very controversial because most people didn't like it because it featured another child, another girl that has the same powers as 11, or kinda the same powers. She essentially has mind powers. So it was kind of underwhelming that, of course, we knew that 11 was number 11 and there were other 10 other children that had been experimented on, but we didn't. I personally didn't expect any of them to show up this early in the series. Maybe next season, but not this season, and not an entire episode about them basically, and about and happening outside of the town in which this happens. I mean, Hawkins is the place everything happens in this series. I didn't understand when they went to another city, to Chicago, to Pittsburgh, to whatever. I mean, I'm not interested in that. There are other series for that. I mean, it kind of looked like an X-Men episode, and that was. I mean, and the X-Men are great, but not like this. I mean, not in TV, certainly. I mean, Legion, for example, was great, but Legion is its own thing. This was not so great. I mean, that episode was really not the weakest of the season. It was kind of boring. The characters were really like drawn out of the cartoons or something. I mean, it was really bad. I mean, I didn't like it at all. And 11 can be sometimes annoying. I know I'm on the minority on this. I mean, in her innocence, she can be kind of annoying. To be honest, everything has to be explained, everything has to be exposed, and that is very tiring for someone watching a series. So I would just skip those episodes and make her a little bit smarter. And she only appears to be smarter in the final episodes, so that's kind of really annoying. There's also some other characters, kind of new characters, such as Bob, which is again Joyce's boyfriend, who dies, which is kind of disappointing. It makes you ask, why the hell did they put someone like that just to die on this season? And well, I mean, there must be a reason, and there must be stakes, and someone must die in order for them to understand. And it's always someone just outside of everything, because if they kill the main character, they wouldn't hear the end of it from fans. So it was kind of obvious that he was going to die at some point. When they entered that building, I was like, okay, this man is going to die for sure. I mean, he's the only one that's expendable. So that was kind of annoying because you knew he was going to die, but the character was kind of funny and kind of useful too. So it was fine at the end of the episode. Standout performances. I mean, Winona Ryder was great. All the children were actually pretty great this season, and yes, 11 was kind of great. I always loved the character of Nancy. She's just so great, and her not Jonathan, but the other guy. I forget his name. I'm so sorry. I will put it somewhere. He's really interesting, and he's really the bully that became a nice person, and I think that's amazing. I think that's an interesting character, that a popular guy basically turns good, and he's kind to children and to everyone around him, and he just wants to be the good person, and I think that's great. I think that's very interesting, and he's really. I hope he has a bright future ahead of him, and that he appears in next season. And then there's Billy, I think it's the brother of Max, the new girl. Billy was kind of a useless character also. He's a bully, and he hates his sister because it's not really her sister. And he has like these gay vibes, but he's not really gay because he flirts with every woman around. And maybe that doesn't mean that he isn't gay, but... I don't know, it's such a strange character, and it doesn't really make anything, I mean, at all in the series. And if he wasn't there, it would be exactly the same thing. They could have invented something else for Max. I mean, maybe they're playing again for season 3 and further, but it didn't work for me. That character was kind of always, the scenes were always very annoying and just so tired, in the sense that they have been done so many times, so it was really cringy. I love the performances in general. The CGI, the visual effects really improved this season, as well as the sound, as well as the score. Of course, all the 80s references in music, in cinema are really amazingly done. It's really great, especially when you know about that decade. You notice so many things like E.T. and The Exorcist and Ghostbusters and Terminator. I mean, so many movies, Mad Max, of course, so many movies and so many great references that are in this series. And it's really an intelligent series. I mean, it's really interesting. It's really driven, and I love that it was about children encountering something that they didn't understand. And now it's teenagers encountering that and in love. They're really putting a big bet on love for the next season, and I hope it doesn't become only that, because then it will become a CW series, like like Riverdale or something, and I'm not interested in watching that. So I hope season 3 is great. This season was really, really strong, really, really good. The chapters were really well constructed, except episode 7, but the rest were really, really great. And I hope season 3 is really good and they don't focus that much on them being teenagers. I would prefer that. Thank you so much for watching this review, a bit long. Please leave a comment down below about this season. Like this video or dislike it if you want. Share this video on your social media, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Bye.